Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to Chalkcast. I don't know what number it is, but it is the RLCS Global Preview Show. It's our biggest show we've done in a long time. 6 of us on the panel, and we have assembled, Captain, we've assembled a regional expert super team for the RLCS to give you guys the full insight into the 2026 season, because really we have no idea. Maybe we have an idea of OCE and NA, but overall, we don't know what we're talking about. JohnnyBoi's away, so we got 4 of the best to join us. And I think, well, welcome everyone. But I think what we'll do is, firstly, we'll just go down the line and introduce everyone, see who we're working with, what region we're working with, and maybe give a little bit of insight. So I think we'll just start top right here. Emil Cole, who the heck are you?
Hi, I'm Emil Cole. You've answered your own question. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm an RLCS caster, and I'm very British. So EU, Britain, same thing, innit?
Beautiful. EU expert, JohnnyBoi away. So some small shoes to fill. Should be all good there. Yeah, grey beard. We've had you on before as well.
No, you haven't. I've tried several times.
Did we not?
This is my debut.
Is it? Oh, well.
You photoshopped him into episode 106.
Tell us why you should have been on already. Tell us why you should have been here.
Well, I do everything SSA. I'm trying to spread the gospel of SSA Rocket League, and I'm running out of time, as you can tell. And before I hit 60, I want to see an SSA team make it at least a top 8 at a LAN. So that's my ambition.
I tell you what, we're partying the day that happens. We're going crazy.
Oh, huge.
It's going to be awesome. Mateus at the bottom as well. I'm sure a lot of people have seen you if they watch any Worlds, any LAN, things like that. The super coach. Who are you?
Well, my name is Mateus. People know me here as STL. Right now, I'm head coach of Team Secret, not Fury anymore. I'm gonna talk about it, hopefully. But I was also a moderator for 6 months for a long time, and I'm old for this scene. 26 is old. People tell me you are
right. Look around. Okay. Look around. We're all old here.
This is a safe space, okay?
Yeah, I'm the youngest here, so that's crazy because I'm been
Wait, you're younger than me? No,
I'm 26.
No, I'm 24. I'm still good.
Okay.
I'm still good. Sorry, not the rub it in.
Don't rub it in. We're all out here, but perfect. Yeah. Good to see. Well, I want to chat. We'll chat to you later on as well about the whole Fury thing, because that's very interesting as well. But our Sam expert is STL or Mateus, and then I had to chuck the other Aussie in the opposite corner of the room here. We've got Gex, who I believe knows a thing or two about APAC as well. Who are you, Gex?
Yeah, just a little thing or two. I've been the main face for APAC for probably 8 years now, since well before RLCS. I've been hosting recently. It's been a pretty long journey there, but got to make my entry into Europe with GK Cast last season as well, doing a bit with NA this time around. So yeah, trying to spread myself around, spread the wealth of Gex.
Perfect. There you go. Perfect. Well, as you can see, we've got the absolute God squad. We've got 6 regions covered. There is one we don't have yet. MENA. JohnnyBoi said, "I swear, if you talk about my region without me, he'll kill us." So in game, obviously. Region. So we'll cover MENA next week. I know that Crespo maybe was keen to get on as well. So we've got the main event. Obviously, this weekend's just EU and NA main event. We've got the qualifiers starting for all the other regions as well. But we thought we'd get them all in one room while Johnny's away, because now we can all just chat. It's going to be fantastic. So APAC this weekend as well. And main event,
I believe so.
Oh
yes.
Oh wow.
So wait, hang on a second. Well, now we're talking. So OCE and MENA and SSA next week.
Qualifiers this weekend, and then main event next weekend.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't actually realise that. Oh, well,
it's all snuck up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all it feels like the RLCS season ends. The RLCS season ends, and it's like, that's done now. And then suddenly it's that weekend. It's like,
One
oh,
breath, and you're like,
yeah, exactly. I'll suddenly go back into RLCS mode from tomorrow. Like, even I was on Wikipedia earlier, and it showed me that actual EU games are tomorrow. I was like, oh yeah, actual EU games are tomorrow, not even like the top 32 or anything. So yeah, wild.
It snuck up on us. What are you guys' thoughts on, I guess, the new changes? We were just talking off stream about Copenhagen, but this is the first time in a little bit that the season started the year before. We're back into kind of a 25, 26, and we have a LAN with no OCE 2 seed. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on the changes?
Well, I just had a question. I mean, it doesn't really affect SSA, but CJ, I don't know what the general response in OCE has been to. Oh, we're putting up your spot to a lottery.
celebration, I imagine, is
yeah, loving it.
Well, you say that. You say that. Sign-up numbers are up on last season, so I don't think that's
massive.
a good. Yeah, that's not a good sign. We're up. I think we're up 30
last I checked.
Yeah, up 30%. So that's probably not a good I don't think we're exactly protesting.
That's some positive reformation or whatever for,
Epic
for the change. That's
Epic are gonna like that. So
they got excited when they saw that.
Not great. Yeah, not great. But obviously disappointment for. I guess it more affects your 2 to 7, like the teams that think that they might be a chance to make LAN. I think that the other guys that are just playing, you're kind of just going, wow, I might be able to play and make top 100 or top 64 and win some money. But it was interesting because obviously, well, we're assuming this change came in before Wildcard got top 6. It was kind of locked in. I think once they did get top 6, they're like, oh, geez, this is bad timing. But it's probably. I mean, if you look at the average results and stuff, if they're going to remove it, obviously we'd love that they just add, but if they were going to make this wild card spot, try and make the start of the season more exciting, more interesting. OCE it's easier to go from 2 to 1. There were some people, like, I know, Gravy, you would be happy with this. Some people saying, just get rid of SSA spot. Well, going from 2 to 1 is a lot better than going from 1 to 0 in terms of having representation. So it sucks, but I don't know, maybe.
It is,
yeah, maybe.
It's scary for the minor regions, though, isn't it? Like, it's a trend for. It could be a trend for minor regions. That's what.
You're scared?
My concern there.
Sam 2 not going well.
Sam is next, bro. Sam is next. We gotta play.
No, I think that's a very, very solid point because and the message we've been getting out as much as possible is that what has happened in OCE does show that it is possible to lose spots. Yeah. So for us, it was really important that we get a lot of signups and show growth in the region and make it very hard for us to lose that spot. Make the argument as strong as possible and not take it for granted.
It's got to be more about like general trend than sort of raw results. Do you know what I mean? Like what OCE needs to do to keep its 2 is different to what SSA needs to do to keep its 1 and should be, and same for SAM and APAC. So I think it does. It certainly shows that it's more cutthroat, that regions have to continue improving, and it's tough to bring that in alongside the 2/3 rule as well, because that then puts even more cats among the pigeons. So there must be a sort of, I don't know what the thought is with your guys' regions then in that regard. The fact that there's this 2/3 thing, which is a big positive, but also there is that general fear that's sort of come in.
You go. Or you.
I mean, I don't think we feel like we're under threat of losing it right now, but at the same time, it's just let's do everything we can to ensure that it doesn't even become part of the conversation.
It's just the generalized fear that is like something that in this universe could happen. It's not like we're expecting it to, but yeah, you want to secure that position. I agree. My curiosity is what happens now when you look across OCE into future seasons. How does that affect a region when you lose that spot? Because my expectation is like, yeah, you've got Wildcard doing really well right now, and maybe that's the top team in a region. But when you've got 2 teams that are getting that LAN experience, when they're sending forward into RLCS in big ways, they can bring that back to the rest of the region in a much more prominent way as well. Now they've only got half that coming back to the region. Does OCE start to drop off in performance?
Yeah, I can definitely say. I think there's like two sides of the coin. Whereas I feel like sometimes, maybe in the past, that second seed's kind of a little bit taken for granted. And when you do have a super team like Wildcard for so long, it's kind of just. I feel like the goal for the OCE 2 seed has just been qualifying, just kind of making LAN. Rather, when you have Wildcard, they're expecting to already make LAN, so their goals are higher up. They want to actually achieve at LAN. So. I think you have seen that poor performance from OCE too, because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like a holiday, because obviously you want to perform and stuff, but even my first LAN was just like, this is sick, we're at Worlds, without being like, I'm going to win Worlds. Whereas Wildcard are like, right, well, it's just another LAN, like, let's win. Like, we've qualified, it is what it is, sort of thing. So I think you have that side of it, just because this 2 seed hasn't been as competitive domestically, so they're like, well, if we can't beat Wildcard, we're probably not going to really go too well over here. So there's, I don't know.
Wildcard's dominance in OCE, is that because those 3 players in that combination are that much better sort of individually? Or is it that, because I know but behind Wildcard and previously Power, the other guys, your Super Lockies, your Fibers, they're always caca, they're always mixing and matching and shuffling. Is there like a perfect combination that might exist, or are those 3 just clear, even like in and of themselves?
I don't think they're clear individually. I think Banana Head is the best player in the region, and Fever. Like, they're probably right up there, but I think there's probably 6 or 7 players that are, right up there in skill. I'd say Banana Head is above everyone else, but then everyone else, below that is pretty close. Fever was the best player in the region. I mean, they've just got great experience, and as you said, everyone below is just in the washing machine. And I don't think that's really healthy. I think Team Power's just announced they've signed Super Locky, Gus, and Fiber. So it's just another combination. It's like I lose track of how many times these 2 guys
they changed so much.
Yeah,
it's so surprising how much they changed.
It's not healthy. I don't think. Yeah.
I think the region is already feeling the effect of the second spot loss as well, though, because I'll reveal now that I'm doing the stream next Friday for Amphis, Scrub, and Fades, Turkish FC, and I was like, this is a pretty big roster for OCE. Amphis particularly has just such a massive name behind him. Scrub as well. Where's the org? And the team manager just said, you have no idea how much harder it is this season. With the second spot gone, orgs are out. They're not interested.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Well, there is that side of it, because now it's, unless an org is somewhat confident that you can beat Wildcard, then we don't know if there's a broadcast yet. So there hasn't been any announcements on that. And for other regions as well. So yeah, that's the other side as well. If you're not, you don't have eyeballs, like, we'd love to be on the main channel. I think we've talked about on Chalked as well, Garrett, before, the idea of perhaps having a championship Sunday where all the grand finals are played back to back on the main Rocket League channel for every region. Because we have a global esport. We could cover a full day or a large part of it with the different time zones and stuff. So I think that'd be a great way to get eyeballs, if especially given how hard it is these days to follow RLCS. As we said, you need to be a Liquipedia expert. If you knew that at least on Sunday we get to watch,
it's so hard. It's so hard to follow.
But if you knew like Sunday was like grand final day, and I can tune in from this time, and for the next 7 hours, it is just grand final after grand final from each region. It'd be a cool way to keep up to date with
that would be
the
cool
global scene. But
that's a banger idea.
Get ideas.
I was heard about it before. I really like that.
The org situation going from 2 spots to 1 is pretty rough, because I feel like EU and NA going from 5 to 4 even eliminated like 3 or 4 orgs who felt like they could sneak in. Now they just feel like there's no chance. So I don't really know what the solution is to that, but definitely I think it's hard because there's definitely more interest in NA and EU. So like I feel like they struggle with, should we put this on the main channel? But I feel like you just have to do it.
You put drops on it, it's getting views. So
yeah, you just have to do it and separate. It's almost like a different scene. Like it's just it is like when it's separated from the main channel. I feel like it'd be so hard to entertain an org for sure.
It's tough as well to like contract casters for that as well, because I remember when we had like end of series. It was during COVID and the end of season like championships instead of worlds, and they had like me and Stumpy on Sam instead of the guys that have been running Sam all season. And it's like, we know a little bit about the main players, but I can't tell you what happened in Regional 2 in full back
You don't know the
then, do you know what I
storyline.
mean? In
You don't
Game
know the
3.
story.
And what that leads to here, because that big, all those little things that you pick up on while casting or sort of actively following a season anywhere. So it's like, we did our best to do that and to do it justice, but it wasn't the same as having either South American talent or people who've been following a team stream that speak in English as well. So I love that idea, but then you'd certainly need to consider who is casting each final, because if you guys are doing OCE, then it's like, here's James Bot, who's not been watching OCE, who casts brilliantly, but he doesn't know the real specifics.
It's like a little
do you know what I
insulting,
mean?
guess.
So it's tough there. It's definitely tough there. That would be a problem. But I love the idea in theory.
It'd be like having Stumpy on instead of you here as the regional expert for EU. Really, that's...
yeah, the guy who just rocks up and casts finals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's this guy doing? Yeah, I think there's definitely different methods. Maybe that's an option, but as you said, working out the talent and stuff. But I think if maybe they're just worried about the numbers on that channel. Obviously, that's what they're selling to sponsors, is their viewership. So they kind of want every time Rocket League goes live that it looks good. But I mean, if you have CRL, with the greatest respect to the captain,
I was gonna say John. No, listen, I'm not offended on behalf of that. I'm on the same page with that. I don't know. I just think it's a shame that and obviously it has to do with how esports is not necessarily a business that makes money, but it's like we had a few years of every single change was expansion, and now it's like even if a change is made to make something exciting, someone has to lose. I feel like the costs of producing an event are already so high. I mean, I know you can't just stack the cost. How hard is it to add 2 more teams and have that to every event? Is it really that big of a difference? Obviously, you add up hotels, flights, but compared to the whole production, which is already insane. I don't know. It's just a shame.
Cost, lighting,
because splitting a scene, you're basically splitting OC in half. You're splitting all the exposure in half. You're kind of killing it. So I feel I don't know. It's just a shame they can't add 2 spots for the sake of entertainment, to have this LAN with a spot on the line or something. I don't know. I feel like there's better solutions.
I think what hurts with that is that we've upped the prize pool, and we're kind of we're adding a LAN. We've upped the prize pool, so there is expansion. So I feel like there was a world where we could have gone to 18 teams and maybe did a little. Obviously, 18 doesn't. Again. Yeah, it doesn't go great with. There's plenty of formats. You just ask Johnny about formats for 18 teams, but you could do a little play-in series or stuff like that. Or maybe the top seeds get a bye. There's certainly ways to do it. So I wish it wasn't just 1 in, 1 out, because it feels like other things are improving. But speaking of broadcasts, STL, it feels like Sam every year have multiple broadcasts. Even obviously, we're kind of struggling with APAC. I'm not sure how SSA is. I'll touch on that in a sec. But with OCE broadcasts as well, it's always who's doing it, who wants to foot the bill. But it feels like in Sam, you guys have your Rocket Street. You have a Portuguese. There's multiple languages. Every single year. How does it kind of work down there?
Well, as far as I know, Rocket Street, the Spanish one, has their own thing. Their CEO do their own thing from 2018, from 7 years now. And Rocket League Sam is gonna be in Portuguese, and I have a feeling that the Epic office in Brazil, because they have a small office in Brazil, they're doing moves, because they managed to do 2 LANs already for our off season.
Oh wow!
They did one and gonna do one next month. So it's kind of like OCE in 2017, 16, doing their own thing.
Oh nice!
And they're having the support. So I don't know exactly the specifics, but I think they're having people doing things that Epic likes, and then having the LANs, the streams. I remember also having a person on site on the awards from Epic Brazil. That's gonna be something big.
Oh, well, I think we should all move to Sam.
Some good news.
Sounds amazing.
Where the money's going. That's where OCE's second spot went. That's really cool, because we used to do that. I don't know if people remember, but in OCE we had live LAN finals for qualifying for Worlds and stuff back in the day. We went to Auckland.
You're like
Those
a
are
beach
exciting.
hut or something you guys were at, or some sort of like.
beach hut?
I've asked you about this, but you were at like some restaurant or something. I remember
Yeah, that was.
OCE.
We're in a tower in Auckland. We're in like I don't know what the tower's called. The main.
Oh, it was about 6
like
years
an
ago. In my memory, it was a
observatory.
beach hut, but was it
Yeah.
like a restaurant or
Don't know where
something?
you
Have I
got-
made that up?
Don't know where you got beach hut. It was next to a restaurant. This.
Oh,
one.
that's probably what I remember.
But yeah, we did. We had a lot. We all flew to Auckland for the top 4 teams from OCE. Flew to Auckland for when we used to have the finals. You know, top 4 out of league play made the finals to try and find the top 2 for LAN. We had a LAN for that. We had one as well. My first qualification in season 4 was live at PAX in Melbourne. We had a LAN as well, which was. I mean, that was no one else was doing that. That's what everyone wants is regional LAN finals. So.
I watched
This is
those.
awesome
I
for
remember
OCE.
if there's a LAN,
You're in.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm in. That's what that is the biggest like tragedy of the scene to me is that there hasn't been more. Even if it's like the smallest studio of all time, just seeing the people in person.
It
I don't
adds
know.
to
It just
the
makes it.
pressure
I'm
and
just
stuff
so
and-
tired of
Well,
online. Yeah, it's just.
I actually
It's
had
so much
I had a
better.
conversation about this with Epic while I was over at Worlds for this last one. Just talking about the value that having even just one decent LAN in a region brings to the esport, how much it legitimizes the esport. Like orgs love it, sponsors
Gives people
love it.
something to
That's
fight for
massive.
as well.
You can't
players.
have tournaments without sponsors, and you need sponsors to think that the esport's real. And at what point, when you're starting to remove spots for regions as well, do you? We're marketing this as a global esport, and two regions now have the possibility of having more spots than all the minor regions combined.
Yeah.
From the perspective of what are we calling them now? Development region, a small region.
Emerging,
the
aren't we?
problems.
Emerging.
Emerging, thank
we
you.
go.
That's the official PC way of looking at it. We're solving different problems, and from my perspective, Psionics initially, and then Epic when they came along, have done the hard part. They did the hard thing first, which was to expand the number of regions. That was a huge step to take, and there was absolutely justification for them not to do it, to keep it in North America and EU and maybe 1 or 2 others. But they did that first. So in South Africa, in SSA, there is no other gaming title that has publisher support. We are the highest paid esport in the entirety of the region. I mean, by a shocking distance. $32,000 for a regional is probably the Call of Duty CS:GO prize pool for 4 years of competition and so on.
Wow.
So I take the view of this is amazing. I am so delighted that we're included in this, and therefore there is a local responsibility. All these things you're saying are correct. The local lands, but we as a community have got to figure that sort of stuff out and build it ourselves, and ultimately make it worthwhile for Epic, Psionics, whoever's got the purse strings to go, okay, now let's throw a lot of money into it. And I don't know what publisher support is like for other sports, other esports. I call myself a gamer. I have no idea what goes on in the world outside of Rocket League. So that's how I think we view it from a small region trying to be globally relevant.
That's good.
I like that.
I'm glad you guys. I'm glad you guys were added at the time you guys were, because I feel like if that team didn't set out to do that back then, I feel like it never would have happened. Like I feel like nowadays, if you guys weren't in,
100%.
it would have never happened. So
It's the same
Yeah,
but
with
it does feel
I-
like
I agree.
It does feel like
yeah.
So I'm glad you guys have that perspective as well. Honestly, that's like a really optimistic. Like that's a good way to look at it. That's a great way to look at it. Because you're right. I cannot, because I feel like I watch most esports. I cannot recall another esport having SSA support. So that's good. Hey, we're getting a lot of good news right now. I mean, a lot of positivity.
Like, I think that was
That's good.
was why I started as a caster. It was because I was doing design work, and I just was out of a job at the time, so I started throwing myself at different orgs and stuff, and I ended up in APAC, and the APL was running at the time. This is way before APAC got RLCS, and they just said, look, nobody's sticking around. Casters are leaving because there's no money here and stuff. We just need a face that we can kind of put to this? Are you willing to stick around for a while and push this to help the region? And I went, yeah, everybody here is great. I love APAC. It's the reason I've stuck with it for so long. I'm very loyal to the region because they've been loyal to me. But that APL, we never would have had RLCS in APAC if it weren't for APL pushing the scene, pushing the community to be its best and be seen.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good because it feels like right now it does seem like Epic's willing to do things, but they like to approach something that's set up. So it is kind of on the communities, like the domestic regions to, yeah. But then once you have something set up, it seems like that's when they like to support it. So that's definitely what you got to do. And
shout out to Nish, the region head for APAC as well for that one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like we flipped that in a more positive way, which is good.
That's quite beautiful.
That was. Yeah, I'm actually feeling good about OCE.
I'm pretty happy.
It genuinely was quite beautiful. You know, I didn't mean to sound demeaning at all. I think it's quite a beautiful way to look at it, really.
We weren't expecting it out of these regions. Nothing. Come on.
Feeling kind of positive. I mean, the other thing is we still have LCQ. So for OCE's perspective, if a wildcard does well, in a way, having one team makes it easier to have a higher average placement. You don't have that. Well, OCE2 that's just tanking our average placement. So there's a chance that we're the fourth best team, the region, whatever it is, or third, probably not the third best region, the way that MENA's looking at the moment. But, there's a chance that we do get an OCE2 seed at least at Worlds. But yeah, I guess they're the changes for the year. The rest of it, I think, looks pretty positive. I mean, we've, in a way, got another LAN. We've got the studio. It's just EU and NA.
I love the 2/3. I do love.
Oh
that
yeah,
rule.
yes. Should we dive in then?
I'm going to say a lot about that. It's fantastic.
All right, go for it. 2/3 rule, Great Beard. Take it away.
So it's kind of it's a very strange thing for the 2/3 rule to be as positive for SSA, and I'm assuming APAC, but Gex, you'll talk more to that. For it to be as positive for SSA as it is, we had to go through these two abysmally painful seasons, and I've told a few people about that. As the last broadcast closed on the last regional of last season, I said to everybody, if the rules don't change, I don't think I can do this again. It is just so painful to watch this happen. But we had to go through that pain. And because it had a number of benefits. One is it made SSA visible. Nobody cared about SSA until that was an issue, and they cared about SSA just because they wanted to hate.
We were hate watching.
Yeah, exactly. So and we'll take that. But it also introduced a whole bunch of EU players to the region. So now 2/3 rule, there is a genuine interest from a number of really good EU players that are now going to be playing in the region, and a number of them are going to be coming here to play locally, and that is so good. And I feel like we have gotten the best of both worlds, and it's changed the entire dynamic. In fact, I would go so far as to say I think in this region we're more excited about the 2026 season of RLCS than we were at being included out of the blue back in 2021. There is as much anticipation and excitement just because for the first time we've got some good ideas about who's going to be the top team, the top 2 teams, the top 4 teams, but we just don't know. You got Lewis P, top four player out of EU. What's he going to be? What's he going to bring? Torres from Foot last season playing locally. How's that all going to pan out? So there's a lot of excitement. This has been for us the best possible result out of the abysmal pain of the last 2 seasons.
So has the thoughts towards those players then? Is it a bit of a 180? So obviously,
completely.
When Foot were there dominating, it was like screw those guys. But now it's like, oh my god, come and join Sweaty and Skills team.
Yes,
come on.
We love them. It's like, yeah. And I mean, the bizarre thing is there are more So the two big countries in SSA is South Africa. We dominate in terms of numbers. And then the second biggest country is Reunion Island, which is bizarre because they're a tiny island of 800,000 people, but they churning out Rocket League players. So South Africa, then
Reunion Island.
They are French. Yeah. Yes, I mean they are considered a part of France. They're like a division of France. I'm not quite sure how it all works, but yes. They're all French speaking, but just such amazing people. And then the number of players that have signed up for the first Open who are in SSA but not in South Africa or Reunion is 20 players. And I think it's 24 Spanish players or something. That's crazy. So the Spanish love to play in SSA.
They do. They all love to play together as well up until now.
Sadly, they can't anymore.
We had a really similar effect in APAC actually with the 2/3 rule introduced. Like we didn't have it anywhere near as bad as SSA. I would never claim that. Last season we did have some aggressive teams that came in with that negative attitude of they're just trash, so we'll come in and just roll the region. It didn't work for them, but we did have some big teams that were dominantly non-APAC, and obviously our Worlds team was. But a lot of those players had the right attitudes, including that team. They came in looking to play with the region, looking to be a part of it, and trying to increase. But I think the 2/3 rule, what it does is it dilutes those players down into the other team, because we've still got a massive amount of these import players this season, but it's one per team now, and everybody's benefiting now. Everybody gets to learn from their own EU or MENA player. We have a ton of Saudi members coming in now. It's going to be a really weird season as to the format of our play styles, because there are so many 1v1 players coming in that are just experts in that region. And I think it's going to be a really good learning season, because, like I said, every team gets their own import to learn from.
APAC's got history as well to having players that have actually sort of assimilated into the culture. I think of Virtuoso. I can't remember who else it was. Well. It was Virtuoso and somebody else that with like the yes, Kami. And from what I remember, those guys really sort of bought into it. They played with an APAC player. Was it Realize? My memory's completely foggy. I just remember played with Realize and sort of elevated him. Qualified for LANs, and then
there you go. Your brain's
exactly right. So that's there is history there with APAC as well. So I'm glad that's continuing for the region too.
Of course, I think our number one player is still actually a native, which is great. Sphinx is getting so much.
Sphinx is dirty. Yeah. I was going to say, we even respected, like, me, CJ, and Johnny. We always even respected Virtus Pro way more than, like, Foot, just because they had one local player. So I think the one import rule is really cool. And it's, like, I'm looking at the rosters right now. Like, there's a lot of... I didn't know Lunar is playing in APAC. I had no idea. Has he moved there? Do you know?
Luna's always been a part of APAC, whether it was playing in it or not. He has a huge investment in it. I don't know if he's actually a part Japanese, I think.
Okay, interesting. So, but there's a lot of
again, rosters. American Japanese. There's a few American Japanese playing out of the region. Our Team America that we had for a couple of seasons there were predominantly related to the Japanese scene. So.
Interesting. No, that's cool though. It looks like it's going to be really competitive as I'm like scrolling over the rosters.
It's way different now, as you said, Graybeard, having 1/3 versus a whole team, because as you said, everyone was hate watching. We still talk about it now. Actually, Garrett and I did the predictions for the main event this weekend for EU and NA, and every time we do an EU team, we're like, actually, this guy was in SSA last season. That's a sweep, and we just get rid of him. But as you said, it's way different now because it's more of an integration rather than an invasion. In a way, with the 1/3, you have to, find a teammate from SSA, or at least you have to live there. There's a little bit of technicality with NA in terms of you can play CRL if you have a college team. We've got some EU or full EU teams over in North America, but I think that's a bit different.
At least they're going to school. I respect
and going
that.
sideways. EU to NA is fine. I think it was the whole kicking down. It's like, well. Now, Jack and Nolly going over to NA was a bit different than what these guys are doing. But it's great to see. As you guys said, the sign-up numbers look good, and we're seeing some some more of a spread across the board with 1/3 of imports coming in. So
Jack and Nolly, eventually inspired NRG to win Worlds last year. It was that knock-on effect of those guys moving over. Next thing you know, there. So no problem, America.
We had the same
helped you there.
situation with the hate watching.
I'm claiming.
What? It was
SSA is next.
We had
Leora will carry you guys to Worlds.
We had the Tho Ocelon Tecos matchup last season as well. That was our hate watch. I think we might have had the most biased RLCS desk ever. There's just a high pitched squeal from Boy Arroyo that I love when they beat Koi on their qualifying game for Worlds. And
was that the game 7 where it was like 6-2 or something? Oh, I loved that game. That was so good.
Screams at the highest pitch. It's the best thing I've ever heard. I was in tears.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about the desk. I didn't even think about the desk perspective. I remember we were hate watch because I remember when we saw. I think CJ, when we saw that they were going, we were like, oh no, not our boys. Like, because we were rooting for Virtus Pro somewhat. Well, outside of the time they beat both OCE teams, CJ was pretty mad, but. We were like, "Oh, this is not a good sign," and then they just smacked them. They just kept beating them. They just kept beating them. So.
I mean, for OCE, it was a little bit different. We kind of only had the 1/3 integration with Raziers was kind of the big one, but we defended strong, and that was fun to watch actually. In the other side of things, that he couldn't conquer. That OCE is the only region now that hasn't been taken over. We're the only region where not a single person outside of OCE has won a regional here. So we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. What's it, Mateus? I guess for Sam, that we see a lot of, I guess Sam plays the top players moving to NA, kind of going up. Do we see much kind of the other way or other imports coming into Sam?
Yeah, cool. We can say that us and Complexity also helped NRG winning Worlds.
No problem, Garrett.
Everyone's just helping NA all of a sudden. Thanks. we all appreciate it.
I think the only real case was CRR and Dorito playing in 2024 for Complexity alongside Race Bull. But last year we had like Yukio playing one split here.
Oh yeah,
because he's like half Brazilian. His mother is Brazilian, I think so. He was here for the weekends, not for the holidays, and just I'm here. Can I play? So that's it. And this year we have like Nugget. I don't know how you say it. He's an English player.
Nugget, yeah.
Just like 1-2 max.
Is he?
But
why is
like,
he there?
I don't know. I really don't know. Just here.
He's just there. He's
no one's following him.
He doesn't know what he's
No
doing there either. He's just wandering around the streets like, can I play RLCS? To strangers.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Like his team's like not ideal. That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, I guess it's kind of different. Like, Sam's a very competitive region, so I feel like if you were going to leave EU or NA, you're probably not thinking it. But I guess for NA, it's pretty close. You don't have to leave home if you might want to play on 110 ping or something. But yeah.
Even Diaz, when he was in Brazil, he lives in a place where you can like get 70 ping, 80 ping in NA. So.
Oh yeah, he was always on NA servers.
Wow.
He was always playing it.
Like in the north of Brazil, you can have like very good ping in NA, and even like decent ping in EU.
So that's the hotspot then. That's where everyone should be moving. You can hit 3 regions at once. I mean, we don't have that luxury in OCE. Unfortunately, I think SSA is probably a similar situation. We're quite isolated, which does hurt. But yeah, I think that rule change is the big one, I guess, for everyone here is the region lock in a way. The 1/3 or 2/3 rule is huge. So I think we've covered the main changes for 2026. Yeah, I think Gex, you kind of touched on a few of the APAC rosters. You just want to maybe we just start with a bit of APAC then. Do you want to just give us a little deep dive into what APAC is looking like? You mentioned a couple of the rosters already, but how's it looking? What are the changes? What are you most excited for APAC?
I mean, obviously, I think the big title there is Sphinx and Kevin teaming up. The two big talked about players over the last few seasons. I think now, and I think that's a lateral move from Sosa as well. Kevin is underrated, so I think that's going to be another really dominant team in the region. There, they've still got Catalysm on the squad as well. Same coach, Trill's been amazing on every team he's ever been with, pretty much. But there's a couple of new come-ups that I really, really like here. Particularly, I'll shout out Praise here, bringing in like a majoritively Maldives team. That's exciting because we haven't really had. Well, I knew this team existed. They've changed third to a MENA third. Rigorous coming in. I think he's a 1v1 champ for the 1v1 cups as well, cash cups. And he's been beating out Sphinx and stuff. So he's amazing.
Oh wow.
That team is actually that they did so well out of the first 2 days of competition. I could definitely see them being quite prominent in that top 4 area. And that's amazing. Just seeing another nation come out. I think that's one of the biggest things that APAC has going for it of anywhere is that we just have so many nations. I mean, you've even got like Bunny Dummies from Yemen. You've got MENA still coming in because we played with them before MENA and APAC got RLCS. They played together. That same APL tournament was for what included MENA as well before they started having their own tournaments right before RLCS. You've got all those kind of mixed race players coming in like Luna, like Nai. You've got Japan is so dominant, but they are fairly internalized as well. They have a lot of their own tournaments that the rest of the world doesn't even hear about. They've had some massive tournaments actually, which is why they stay so relevant. Some really good teams here. I want to see Kindertrope do really well as well. Max Yu switching for the first time in to really play with and he did this mid last season, but yeah, he's in with Furlash there, so bringing in a Japanese member, and then Cash.
My boy Cash.
Is coming in there.
What's he doing here?
Yeah,
I know. I was looking through and I saw him
really
like
weird
Cash.
move. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even the finish came in massively last season. Shout out to you guys in SSA. You guys got Renshiro as well. I'm excited about that roster. That's gonna be a really cool roster. We've still got Porsus there, who's teaming with Kaizen and Kylo. So yeah, it's still just very, very, very multinational. Still predominantly Japanese, Indonesian, Malaysian is kind of where you're looking for the vast majority of players. But I don't think I've ever seen such a diverse top 16 before. There's so many nations in there now.
You threw me with the what 2/3 Maldives. Like what's the population of that? Because when I think of the Maldives, I just think of the huts on the water, like the holiday.
A lot bigger than you'd think. Maldives is not that small. Yeah. Wow. I think awesome. People assume it's tiny, but yeah, they've got a decent population.
Yeah. I mean,
and then Gex, just a quick question: the ecosystem in Japan it sounds like they've got a competitive ecosystem outside of RLCS, and
yes.
is that well supported?
It's very much an Asian thing as well. It's those internet cafe LANs that happen a lot in APAC regions. I know Indonesia has them a lot for other esports, not so much Rocket League. But yeah, Japan gets these tiny little in-house LANs that get the best players out to them and stuff, and they're recorded. They actually go massive on broadcasting platforms and stuff within the Japanese community, but it is hard to get the Japanese players engaging with the rest of APAC. Outside of RLCS, they basically are not seen except for maybe the top 3-4 Japanese players.
I know that Realize was sort of going almost viral, right? With clips and his streams. Was that about a year ago or so?
He
I think
was
it was quite a while ago now.
Japanese big streamers.
Like big streamers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he was doing a lot of good for Rocket League as well, and for himself, of course, too. So that was cool.
I don't know if I hope that kind of press is generating interest from a younger crowd in Japan, because the best players out of Japan are getting really old now, and have been for some time. And there doesn't seem to be any young blood coming in from the region. So I'm really hoping that some new Japanese players pop up because of this kind of streamer tournaments and stuff like that.
This is, I feel like, what everyone's waiting for is the unknown of Asia, and imagine when they discover Rocket League, because in other esports, there was actually, what was the
bring in Korea. That's where that's when we go.
That's what I'm saying.
We need
it feels like a careful
tournaments.
what you wish for. Yeah.
Well, we're about to do like the FIFA, the eFootball, like FIFA E as well. Cole and I did it last year, and the mobile FIFA E version in Singapore and like Indonesia in particular is enormous. Like we had millions of live viewers on the YouTube, like
and
20 times the Rocket League, and it was
exactly. I did when the game launched. I was doing sideswipe casting for the first year of that, and the budget that Psyonix was putting into that, they knew what was going to happen there. And it did go nuts. It went really nuts in APAC.
Yeah, Sideswipe could be huge as well because they love their mobile games, basically, don't they? In sort of East Asia. Like, I remember when CJ talking about the eFootball Mobile that you did. There was an English guy who was doing it, and he clearly got about 10 hours on eFootball Mobile, and he was just he was good at the console version, but we also needed someone to do eFootball Mobile, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and he was losing about 15-1. He got one goal, and I was commentating on it with CJ. I was like, "He scored, the English guy!" But they're just incredible at these mobile games, and they're sort of holding it like hook control like that, and they're doing 18 different inputs at once. And on a flat screen with no feedback.
That's where the purple shot came from. If you've heard of that in the freestyler scene in Rocket League now, it came from Sideswipe purple shot. They have their own mechanics, and it's massive. Yeah.
How do we
I wonder what it is,
tap
though.
into it then?
Like,
how do we get in
I
there?
was about to say, like,
I think Sideswipe's the answer.
Why do you think like Rocket League
honestly
is not big? Like, why do you think there's little interest in like places like Korea? Like,
oh, it's not that there's
is there any Korean?
They're not allowed to participate.
Korea's not allowed to play.
I don't think they even have access to Rocket League in Korea.
Oh,
really?
Wasn't Twitch like?
We are
Twitch
talking about South Korea, right? We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, there's regulations, isn't there? Because I know China has a different version with the drops and stuff. They can't. They've got like a whole different version of the game, so they can't even play. Maybe it's just
I heard about that one. I didn't know.
I
didn't know South Korea was similar. I didn't know that. Okay, that makes
China
sense.
doesn't have that
Not
version
allowed
anymore.
to.
Oh, so
no,
okay.
it's gone now.
They
Actually,
closed
we
it.
had a few APAC players that were like representatives of that.
Great question.
Threw their Rocket League careers out the window because they went to represent Chinese Rocket League for a while, and nobody was good, so they didn't have to be. So they just went and dominated every tournament, raked in the cash for a while, and then retired after like a year and a half.
Oh wow,
That's
wow! I did not know that.
It's a good life.
There's so much potential.
So someone said you can't make Epic accounts in Korea.
Must be an Epic game scene.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it is.
Wow, I think that's a big. They're missing out
loss.
on a lot there. Yeah.
There must be a way to
Interesting.
cheese that with like VPNs or mods or something. Surely.
Probably, but,
Yeah, it's
but
just hard to generate
because
interest.
they're not allowed to, from a political standpoint, I don't think they're actually allowed to enter RLCS, even if they do. So, we did have a Korean player one season. I can't even remember. I think it was 22-23 season. There was a Korean player that made it into the high in the top 32, and we thought we might see them in the top 16, which, because we had Friday broadcast back then, we were excited to actually cast for over a Korean player, but they didn't make it any further than that. So,
I mean, I just typed in South Korea into
Korea.
I just typed in South Korea into Wikipedia, and the first result is James Cheese. So James Cheese were apparently located in South Korea. There you go.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They did boot camp out of Jimmy Cheese.
Yeah,
they live in Korea for their first year. But yeah, I feel like there's so much potential. I saw a couple of weeks ago they had a world champs for an esport or a game I never even heard of, and I'm not sure it was
the mobile.
Was it like a
mobile
like a League of Legends
MOBA?
ripoff? Like MOBA, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a huge arena and
It
everything.
was like
I was gonna
50,000
bring that
people.
up.
It was like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
What is
That's
happening?
crazy.
And then this game's like Mobile Legends Bang Bang. I was like, what's that? Oh,
Love Bang
there's
Bang.
like 500 million people playing it.
That's massive in Indonesia. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's untapped, especially Indonesia as well. I mean, we have a few Indonesian players, but what do you think? Is there any way, Gex, for us to tap into that market that just seems ridiculous if it blew
Are
up?
we talking about mobile gaming here?
No, just
general,
Rocket League.
or-
Like, how do we
well,
kind of?
I think LANs for Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, like, they are literally a ferry ride from each other. They're geographically, that's not a big area, and the players are absolutely hanging out for it. Asia's never had a big LAN ever, so I think that's where I'm focused right now. I do have some kind of plans in the mix, but that's a long way off if it happens. I've been trying to run a lot between both APAC and OCE. I think that's the one benefit that APAC and OCE have is each other at this point, and we're not utilizing that. So I'm trying to do some cross-regional stuff there in the future, but it's tough to plan. And a lot of the infrastructure's not really there. Even like just investigating spots, which I have been looking at LAN venues, they don't know how to communicate with people who are investigating to hire a venue. It's impossible to find out what a room size is, what the layout is, what they won't even give, because they're worried about getting ripped off. They won't even give you a price until you're basically locked in. It's very hard to even investigate. So there are some hurdles to cross there, but I think it's doable. And I think that particularly if you're running something out of like Indonesia, where Bali is so popular for Australian tourism and stuff, you could really get something great going for both regions there.
Yeah, I think that other esports as well have APAC as Australia, like Asia Pacific with Australia included. So and potential, but I think the ping, speaking to the players, but players are always going to complain about ping like the 110, 120, whatever it is. But maybe if there's a server in between.
I've run online events with both regions before, and the players were fine with it. Like if it's advertised in advance that they're going to have to choose the best server for each team, the players kind of get it, and they'll do whatever they have to do to make it right.
Yeah, we'll see what we can cook up there. Maybe we'll be in touch, see what we can cook up in 2026. To round out APAC though, Gex, can you give me your prediction? Is it going to be Project Dela Cruz, which is Kevin Catalysm Sphinx? What's your APAC prediction? Who's going to be the number one team? Who are we going to see representing at Worlds?
Sphinx is unbeatable right now. He is a world-class player. He would fit into any top 4 EU roster right now. It's going to be that team. Kevin, Sphinx himself has guaranteed me that Kevin can be every bit the player that Sphinx already is, and they've still got Catalysm on. I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, the stat leaderboards for Worlds, they went off. Catalysm and Sphinx absolutely off the charts. I don't think that there's a team in APAC that can beat them right now.
Not Cash, Max Furlash.
No, I don't think it's happening.
Cole's boy.
No. But I think that next 4 teams are going to be very competitive, and I think it's going to be a big learning season. So maybe by the end of it, we see something different.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be tuning. I love this because now I'm just getting an insight. I feel like the people will now be able to tune in and they go, "That's Gex's team right there." So, yeah, we'll be tuning into APAC. Once again, the 2/3 rule. We'll hop over to. Let's go to Sam. STL. Talk to me firstly about what on earth you're doing, because I feel like when I thought of Furia, I think of Yan. I think of you as well. The OG, the lineup. You've been there forever. So. What has happened? Because now you're coaching Team Secret. You've left Furia. Talk us through that and what 2026 looks like for you and South America. Oh, muted.
Oops. Sorry. Thank you for the compliment, CJ. Furia, me and Yan. It's nice. But I think last year's results were not good. We started very well with a top 4 at Birmingham. Playing well, but I think our team kind of fell apart. Rally was not good. EWC even worse, and Words was decent but not enough. And I think because of that, Furia management decided to let me go, just because of we are trying to do something like an impact change. And I believe because I was the oldest in the roster, almost 4 years in Furia, they were okay, we probably need some new blood. And that's fine. It's part of the game, right? So I think Furia now is stronger. If you think that Yan now has Swift, who was top rated, the best rating in Worlds. But at the same time, I think they also will have some issues that if they don't fix it, I think they cannot win an event. They're probably going to be top 4, top 6, top 8, but this is supposed to be the super team that Sam ever assembled, and they are supposed to win. So let's see. And I think for the rest of Sam, I think us right now, Team Secret, are like in a very good spot to be the second best, and even like the best coming from Sam, because I think at least for the start we're gonna have way less pressure compared to Furia. We can sneak a little bit wins here. Secret last year like just won once, and because of lost issues with internet, so not like a good win, but I think we can sneak 2 or even 3 wins across the whole season. And for the rest of the rest, it's kind of like good. I mean, I think Sam is in a really good spot, almost like OCE. They ever since they start, we had like loads of players going for the events, not just like two rosters. So when I say MIBR is right now Racebull, Astromic, and Sadness, you guys probably know all 3 right now. When I say like Alix, which is like Sam's 4 seed, it's Brad, Drops, and Benz. You guys probably know all 3. So I think
A lot of players.
Furia is supposed to be like the best. Secret's supposed to be the second best, and like we have at least 3 rosters that are capable of getting there. But I don't think they will, because if they manage to do that, I suck at my job.
So it feels like for Sam, what's kind of obviously it was a straight swap. So we've got Yan and Lost. Drafinho has left. Drafinho's got a Secret and Swift. So it's been a straight swap Swift for Drafinho, with you as well, hopping over. It's been a coach swap. It's been a player swap, which is really interesting. It feels like from the outside, I don't know if I'm wrong, but Furia have kind of gone to try and improve their ceiling by picking up Swift over Drafinho in terms of like individual ceiling perhaps, but Secret perhaps get a bit more consistency with Drafinho. I think he's like a really solid player. Do you kind of see that, or do you kind of view the teams a bit differently?
Yeah, for sure. Furia with Swift over any other player besides Yan is going to improve the ceiling for sure, and also the floor. I think so, because Swift, the only reason I didn't pick him up for last year in Furia was he never really played on LAN before. Us and Complexity, and after us and Secret played all LAN, so he was out. And wrong take, he's like amazing. He played poorly at Birmingham, but in Raleigh, in WC and Worlds, he played really well. I think they're going to improve like mechanically, but I think like mental side is really important as well, especially if you're trying to break like a curse, because Furia and Sam kind of have like a curse. Even when we played on NA, Secret went to play what was the major? Rotterdam Fall Major, and ended up like getting top 4. After that, people were like, "Oh, Furia, like Sam is not just Furia. They have like Secret, they have like NIP back then, they have like Crew, but we never really managed to break this top 4 curse." So I think they're trying to like make a final hurdle, like assemble the Avengers and try to see what happens, really. And for us, I think obviously for like losing Swift sucks, but I think we are getting in a sweet spot, because we are knowing what works for KV1, works for Mora, works for the field, and it like the game that just goes really, really well for everyone.
We've also seen that, I mean, we've seen it countless times in Rocket League and in esports in general, that making a super team doesn't always work out. I mean, we had Vitality last season when they were put together and was saying, wow, this team can't possibly lose. And then throughout the entire season, they weren't as good as Carmine Corp and ended up falling to Dignitas as well. So I guess you guys have got to sort of look at that for inspiration and see what you can do to break through Furia.
Yeah, and I think we can always be reliable on our like team chemistry, because for me, like, this game is very mechanical, of course, but you have like also team chemistry, how team vibes, even how you manage your mental side, like on a semi-final. And I think on that part we have like an edge over Furia, and we are working to have this edge way powerful than their mechanical edge over us.
I like it. I like this swap as well. It's like going to be a great head-to-head battle. I've got a couple of questions. One, obviously, massive fan of Racebull. As you said, MIBR, bit of a different lineup. How do you think they're going to go? Obviously, one of your main rivals.
Well, they started pretty well because they beat us in the qualifier for
Oh,
the
wow.
3-0
I didn't know
match.
that.
Yeah, it was 3-2 for MMBR. We slacked a little bit, but good for them. They beat us. I think Racebull was always like a really good player, even back into neutral in complexity. I think last year kind of like felt bad because in NA he was like struggling, but this year I think he's coming pretty good. But I strongly feel that like whatever roster any team fields that is not Fury and Secret is gonna lack a lot of stuff, mechanics, team chemistry, team vibes, everything. So I don't think Sadness and Astronomy have what it takes to probably beat either us or Fury multiple times. Maybe once or twice, sure. Multiple times, like in the semifinal or in the final, sure.
You mentioned as well, there's a lot of, similar to OCE, a lot of the players are kind of mixing and matching that we kind of know or have known before. Are there any up-and-coming SAM players that aren't yet, known about, aren't yet on the radar that we should be looking for next season?
Well, the only one that's really popping right now and the year before is Suko. He's playing in Amethyst. He's the 5th seed, playing alongside Wisty and
Suko.
BRN.
Okay.
Yeah, last year he played with Stromic and Benz. He finished top 3 with Godfinds, but lost in LCK final to Brad Drops and Razebull. And he's like probably the only one that comes to my mind.
Okay, perfect. I think this is going to be this feels like MENA over in SAM. We're going to have Furia versus Secret, the grudge match, every time. But awesome. Anything else from Sam? Any little insights? Any scoops you can give us from your region? Any expertise?
Well, we're gonna have Fury and Secret probably playing this Friday, tomorrow. So tune in to watch us beat Furia for the first time.
Hey,
There you go.
And I think overall, talking about the spots for Lamps, I think OCE losing a spot makes us a bit scared because Sam was always like, one team goes really well, other team goes really poor. So it's almost like OCE in a way. And if OCE lost their spot for EU and NA, because we're not even playing the kickoff lane, just not even Falco, not even Monkey Moon, Turkey, and Nupo, just NA and EU. So we are kind of like, okay, this is
scary.
Clearly showing that, yeah, if we kind of like do poorly as in Furia, we can be in the same situation.
Pressure's on everyone now. Thanks OCE for taking the bullet for everyone else, because now every region is on notice. Greybeard, SSA, this is the exciting region because, as you said, it is just grab an import, a couple of locals, see what happens. It feels like every team is now changed up. What is SSA looking like for 2026?
Well, I think so. Another benefit coming out of the 2 seasons of pain was that we did improve our the skill of the players in the region did improve. There's still a long distance to go, but that was a positive thing. And then so in terms of numbers, that's the first good news is we've had, I think we're going to start the open number 1 with 102 teams, which is a phenomenal number for us. I'm just ecstatic with how many people have signed up. And the big problem for our first 2 seasons of RLCS is that we were a one team region. It was Orlando Pirates, who then became Limitless, and they won everything. And so you knew whatever lands were available, whatever world spots were available, that's the team that would go. And then it was a battle for, let's see who can make second place. And then even with region unlock, while we saw it with Foot it was a one team region. And I think now what we're seeing is for the very first time in 2026, we're going to, at minimum, have a 2-horse race. It is quite possible there's actually going to be a 4-horse race. And there is there is actually a world where there is an 8-horse race for that one.
The Grand National over here.
Tell me there's a world
No,
where there's
no,
16.
it's great. So the obvious team that everyone, you know, we did a power ranking with the broadcast talent, and then we put out a form out to the broader community. And interestingly, the casters and the community picked the same top 4, and the number one team going into this first open is going to be the Pioneers team. Of course, the Pioneers picking up a roster, and they've brought a little bit of money to the region. And Lewis P on that roster, he's not playing the first. He's playing the first open from Europe. But he will be coming here from the second open, which is going to change things. So it's expected that they take the number 1 spot. However, so that's To Die For, Sweaty, Clarence, and Lewis P. And To Die For and Sweaty, generally probably regarded as the 2 best players in the region, local players. Although Snowy is certainly in that conversation, but he's on the other roster that is making it at the very least a 2-horse race, and that's Guns, Snowy, and Tecos out of Spain. Not too familiar with Tecos. He wasn't one of the EU players or Spanish players that played last season in SSA, so not sure what to expect. Although we just wrapped up the 1v1 Cash Cup earlier tonight, and Snowy and Tecos were in the final of that. They battled each other in a bracket reset. So that was so they are quite likely to be at the very least the 2 teams battling it out, and then rounding out the top 4 is going to be Cosmico, which is made up of Ravi. Now Ravi is a very exciting talent, 15 years old. 14 or 15, young player, and if he keeps going at his current trajectory, he's going to be in the conversation for like one of the top 3 players of the region in the years to come. Jeff, who we thought would have a breakout season last season, it didn't come to pass. Very possible it comes from there. And then, of course, a Spanish player in Stake, who's playing with them. So also in the conversation for top 4. And then rounding out the top 4 is an org that are literally a roster that are literally calling themselves Looking for Org.
There you go.
And that's Werty. Werty and Eli Kim. Eli Kim kind of blows hot and cold, but when he's at his peak, he's a fantastic player. Werty, a veteran of the scene, I think 22, 23 years old. He went to wildcard with French Class or Valiant. And then Torres, out of Foot from last season, will be playing with them. And suddenly with his inclusion, it's, oh my, so they're definitely in the conversation for top 4. So that rounds out the top 4. And there's others like Synthesis, Astronic, Rounds. Of course, Gex, you mentioned Renshiro playing, and I'm sure Rounds has got to hold the record, right? Because they've represented an RLCS team in EU, in APAC, and now in SSA. So they've done the world tour.
World tour. Done it as well.
Sounds like Rise.
Everywhere.
Oh, have they?
Can we actually talk about
Okay.
this for a second? Could you in SSA stop stealing orgs from APAC? Speaking of things coming over from APAC, that would be why you don't recognize Tecos as well. He was part of that Hate Watch team from APAC last
Techie
season.
Tecos.
So,
Now that you
Tecos
mention that, I kind of remember that.
Tecos was
Okay.
that third there. So yeah, you get
And Gex, what's your take on Tecos?
He's gonna have to fit into a team. That team was very, very solo heavy. They needed chemistry and they didn't have it. It was they were all individually very powerful, but they were playing individually. So they expected that was going to be enough to conquer APAC, and it wasn't. And yeah, if he can fit into a team though, very strong individually.
It's so interesting you say that, because he's with Snowy and Guns, who are all individually fantastic players, but in my mind, not tested as great players, but have a tendency to be. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. there's the potential there of there being a mental blowout with the three of them. I'm not sure that there's one of those people who's good at like sort of keeping
Koi team as well. Same situation. Yeah.
So they have the potential to be unbelievably fantastic or to completely fall apart. So we'll get a better sense by the end of the first open. And then rounding out the top 8 will be Death Cloud Esport with T-Shao Twinzer Tweaks, a German now, not a Spanish player. T-Shao, reunion player, also very young. I think he's now he had the record at least for the youngest player to ever play a main event in RLCS when he was 13. And now 15, I think. And so potentially in the top 8 conversation. Then, of course, the legend that is Skill Steel, who is the oldest player.
Skill Steel.
I'm sure. Yeah,
he's catching up to us.
And he keeps going. And I've asked him, I mean, our problem in SSA is no one retires. My dream is to get a form like CJU, a former player, onto the panel, onto the broadcast, who can talk with some knowledge of
playing.
actual
he just keeps
pro
going.
play. And it's like, dude, can somebody retire?
Respect.
But he's and he's with Devour, the other young talent, 15 years old. And then from Reunion Island, Onizuma. So that's pretty much where we're the top 8 of SSA for 26.
Yeah, it feels like
Is Happy Meal still playing?
Oh yeah, Happy Meal.
What about Happy Meal?
Oh no, Happy Meal finally did retire. He's one of the few that did.
Okay.
But he's with Cosmico. I think he has a management position in Cosmico now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it feels like the requirement, SSA misread the rules. It's not just 2/3 in a Spanish player, based on the teams you've read out there. Feels like that's what everyone's gone with. One question I did want to ask you, I did see not some drama, but some controversy around the South African FIFAe roster in terms of Sweaty, I believe, was not included, or not on the main roster. Maybe a sub, maybe it was included at all. What's your take on South Africa going into FIFAe, and who do you think should have been or should be the roster?
I know they're going to break England's heart again.
Oh, God. We're coming to you, Cole. We're coming to you. And you'll bring us the sad stories.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're seeing this around the world. I love the fact that FIFA have adopted Rocket League. This is going to be a title that they want to grow as a World Cup title. It's fantastic. And they've chosen to do it through their member associations, which I think in principle is a good idea. But in practice, what is happening is you're running into a bunch of suits who don't understand esport and how it all works. It's kind of confusing. So we see all weird kind of things like the USA. Now we're not going to bother with Rocket League. And then poor old Seb with Canada, who just, he's like, come on. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to bother. And so the South African Football Association, who are managing the process, we were trying very early on to have a process that really fleshed this out, and that we got the 3 best players to go. And through delays and poor communication and whatever, finally a sort of qualifying event was kind of rushed through, and based on one single criteria, Sweaty was left out, and for me that's an absolute tragedy. From my personal opinion, he is the best player in the region, the hungriest player in the region, and probably more than anybody deserved to be there. So it was a bit of a catastrophe. But we have Snowy to die for and guns going, and as a nation, we got to support them and throw our support behind them. But for next year, this process has to be. My big frustration is that we have 3 players playing in a World Cup, and outside of our little Twitch and Twitter bubble, nobody knows about it. It's wild. Why is this not, the players should be being interviewed on TV and on radio, and there should be a whole media campaign, and that's what I wanted to be involved with. And hopefully we can start the process early enough next season for the World Cup that we do all of that and hype it up and make it a huge thing.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that hopefully FIFAe continue to back Rocket League. It seems like they're really, really pushing strongly for it to be one of their main titles with eFootball. So very excited for that. And yeah, interesting. Yeah, I feel like from the outside, obviously, don't watch too much, but Sweaty was fantastic at the LANs that we saw him at. I thought he was fantastic last season as well, last year with FIFAe. So yeah, we'll be tuning into SSA. Sounds very exciting. We've got some teams, and there's no more hate watching, which is good. We'll just get to see.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
We'll get to see SSA's
The
best.
season hasn't
Hopefully, we
started
do
properly
love
yet.
watching as well as we do hate watching.
Exactly. Well,
What gets more views, hate or love?
well,
I know.
I like
you
to
gotta
think
like the answer.
I think love. I
Yeah,
believe.
hopefully love. But no, it sounds awesome.
Oh,
for
you're a
SSA.
dreamer, Cole.
I love to hear the excitement as well, Gravy, that you have, that you're more excited for this season than even when SSA was first introduced into the RLCS or got the LAN spot. So that is awesome to hear. Cole, let's hop over then to Europe. We've got a lot of eyeballs. You probably don't have to give us the full, rundown,
yeah.
but you are the Ninjas in Pajamas expert, at least from last season.
Well, it's a very different,
completely different line. Maybe
very
what's
completely different.
What's Europe looking
Pajamas
like
did.
from
And
your
one
perspective?
of your mates, LBP, as well, is over there.
Yeah.
Great to see. Coaching.
Yeah, I don't actually know. Has he moved to? I was going to say the UK, but Europe. Do you
Not
know?
yet. No,
I don't
he's
actually know.
He's flipped the schedule. He's waking up at about all hours, and I think he's screaming at 4
That's
and
weakness.
5 in the morning.
He should
or
make
something
them.
like that.
He should make them play at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just go on ranked and see who's on.
See how it feels. I don't think you get many screams. But yeah, EU's been pretty
training.
crazy. So what's it looking like?
Yeah, I guess the main things, in my opinion, the main thing that's happened in Europe is the big players that have left Europe. I mean, we've talked about imports this entire podcast. It's sort of been the theme of the podcast. And we already had Rise, who'd moved, obviously. But he has, still gone. He's moved up to North America finally. Monkey Moon has gone from Europe. Captain France, Captain Europe has
Crazy.
gone from Europe. As has Drali as well. So we've got Carmine Corp, who brought in Juicy instead of Drali, which this isn't an insult to Juicy, I would say is a downgrade, because Drali to
Has to
anyone
be. Yep.
is pretty much a downgrade. Do you know what I mean? And then Zen and Exotic have brought in Stizzy instead of Monkey Moon, which from results isn't a downgrade, but it's not a massive upgrade. Stizzy showed that he was probably a better player than Monkey Moon, but not necessarily got the same levels of inspiration. So the sort of top teams in Europe, I would say, I don't think it's a particularly strong EU
Yeah,
this
it's
year
very
by
confident
EU standards.
about
I'm
the-
not very confident.
Ooh.
No, I'm looking at the very top of EU now.
Interesting.
I'm looking at Carmine
Interesting,
Corp and I'm
hey.
thinking they're not going to be quite as good this year, which
I
is
was
an
having a
interesting thought.
conversation just last night about exactly this, that Europe seems diluted,
Yeah.
but maybe to me they seem consistent though, and that's the thing that's tough to break right now for NA. I think that, obviously NRG have gotten that breakthrough, but it's that consistency out of Europe that hasn't been lost here yet.
Yeah,
Have they
well,
lost their
we've
aura,
got
is what I'm thinking.
perhaps not.
I think it's
in
scary
Worlds
in
last
some
year.
ways.
Oh.
I've been saying that I think it's scary in some ways because I agree that there's no top dog, but it's scary to me that all 4 EU teams can win, because that makes, and I think that was true last year, but it felt like K Corp were just so above that almost on a I feel like as an NA team going in, it's like, okay, we didn't get K Corp, we got this team. Now it's going to be, it might be the mindset of every single team can win. But in a way that's scary to me. Yeah. I think because you look at the teams individually, they're still insane, and I think they're also competitive that it's almost making everyone look worse because there's no one just absolutely stomping.
It's
But I
probably
know
one
what
of
you mean.
those. It's probably one of those seasons where the team that ends up being the best is one that we don't necessarily see coming. Like Dignitas from last season, obviously coming up with the best, but Dignitas, I didn't predict them to overtake Vitality by any means, and then they ended up being really consistent.
Yeah, same.
So
same.
maybe a team like GK with apparently Jack and Joyo and Seiko, which actually I'll put to you guys. I think I tweeted it out. I think on average that is the most likable Rocket League team of all time.
Yeah.
With
It
Jack,
is
Joyo, and
likeable.
Seiko.
Yeah, it
The
is.
average
It's a great
likability
team.
level there
It's a
There's
great
no
team.
problems.
is
Yeah.
unprecedented.
Yeah, Gentlemates kind of feels like that dig team, but this time we kind of saw with the French LAN that they were able to go out and take down Vitality in KC, but then they went 3-2 in Swiss last weekend. So I don't know. Is the evening of competition showing how competitive it is? Is it inconsistent maybe? Because GentleMates then lost
classic question.
NIP lost in open quals.
And I was going to say NIP beat them.
Top 64 team and then beat GentleMates in the Swiss.
Yeah, that's
so what's going on, Cole? Is it inconsistencies or are teams still figuring it out, or do we not have the top level that we saw with KC last season?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to follow what I was saying earlier, I'd say for now, it's inconsistency. The consistency will find itself. There will be a team that bubbles to the top, to the surface, and I totally get your point, Garrett, that there's a fear factor there from the outside looking in that you don't know which team it is going to be. We might be talking about, for example, 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, are the team that beat GentleMates, and they might be the one that sort of really take the ball and run with it. AB, Acro, and Tempo, who towards the end of last season, got some results. I know Acro got like a top 4 or a top 6 at one point from EU last season. So they've certainly got a little bit of recent history as well. I mean, the obvious choice to me would probably be GentleMates to continue what they were doing after they won the LAN against Carmine Corp in France. Which is Archie, Nas, and Oski, which is again a very likable team, and Coach Naski as well. So basically, Nip from last season minus Radosin plus Archie. So even more consistency there. That brings. Yeah, I mean, if you think of consistency, Radosin is probably bottom of that list, and Archie is probably top of that list. So it's a complete sort of normalization of their mean for GentleMates.
And they almost took out NRG. They almost took him out too. So.
They did. Well, you mean in the last year? Do you mean, sorry?
Yeah. So those early rounds are
end.
what scare me, is that it's like, when you run into the 3rd or 4th seed in the early rounds, that's a little scary to me. But I do think NA has upgraded too, though. So it maybe it balances out a bit more.
Yeah. Does everyone think I'm being unfair on Europe, by the way, with saying it's a little bit?
No, you're not.
A little bit blunted.
I'm just looking at the rosters, and it's not like even KC. It still has Vati and Atao and Atto, but it just doesn't. When you don't have Drali there, like you got some superpowers leaving.
You're not
some
scared
winners,
of it.
some real winners that have left. Obviously, Monkey Moon, as you said, maybe doesn't have the firepower of Stizzy, but it's Monkey Moon. He's got aura buff over everyone else. Yep. Is there any team that you kind of like in the look of, maybe outside the obviously GK kind of in that 5-6 spot, maybe 2 Danes, 1 Bruv? We know that Reddles, we had him on the show a few weeks ago. He quite likes the Danish combo of Tempo and Edgeby. Likes the boys. So anyone that you're looking at?
I like 2 Danes. I like 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. I always like Hogan mode as well, even though it was very controversial when they got rid of Scrub. But they who did they beat? They beat someone that was highly rated. I've got to remind myself. Hogan mode beat
Game 5 with K-Corp too.
Yeah, game 5 against K-Corp. That might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, where they took. That's right. They took them all the way, which is exciting for them as well. I mean, it's so difficult to say in EU because there's always one weird team. I think one team that people aren't talking about enough is Gentle Bench, which is Eugene, Radosin, and Mitza, who we saw at Worlds. You mentioned yourself, Garrett, that Radosin is still incredibly dangerous. I think he was Nip's best player at Worlds.
And
I understand. Yeah, he was he was just excellent. He came in and he really sort of, really boosted them when they needed it. And then Eugene no longer on GentleMates. I don't actually know. Was he kicked by the team that, the 3 of them, or did they just all split up, I guess, with previous GentleMates? Because if he's called himself Gentle Bench, is he still with the org or anything like that?
I don't know. I think this is like the leftovers team, though, isn't it? So they kind of just didn't find the KC Vitality spot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fair. But yeah, I mean, that's the team. That'd be my outside bet then. Gentle Bench.
And Mitzer almost got the spot, so maybe it's just a joke that they're all
another super likable team as well.
Benched.
I mean, who's not a fan of Radosin after the hug with Zen?
Yes.
What do you think about Magnifico, Cole? What's your thoughts on them? They went 3-0.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, Magnifico have been around for a long time now, right? I remember, was it 2021 when Magnifico were first there?
Atomic and Tox.
Yeah, the OG Atomic. Was it Tox back in the day as well? I can't actually remember who they were at the start. But I always like Razias. He's come back from OCE. He couldn't quite take over you guys over there, unfortunately, but he certainly had some huge events. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't handle the 2/3 rule. And Tox as well coming back because he was in MENA last season. So it's a team that's sort of come back to and Atomic as well coming back from MENA as well. So yeah, so all three of them have come back from abroad back to EU. Yeah, they're another shout. They're another one of those potential 6-7 European teams that might take the ball and run with it. You know, they're all fantastic players.
Yeah, I like that from you.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, it looks well. You're a meme lord.
I've done that so many times.
I do it too.
I keep
accident.
accidentally using that as an example. I'm sorry. I've ruined your chat as well.
It is the go-to. Yeah, it looks. I'm excited to watch EU. If you guys, we did some predictions as well, myself and Garrett, and it's tough. It is tough out there. There's a lot of strong teams and there's a lot of upsets. And I want to give a shout out as well to GHT, which is Grandma Hyder and TMS with Cook's coaching, a full Italian squad from coach to the players, which is pretty cool to see. So, yeah, Europe's looking very competitive. It's just whether the four teams are as dominant perhaps as what we saw with KC and whatnot. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Cap, we talk about NA a lot, but I mean, can you give us your unbiased? I know you're a co-owner of NRG. You own 50% of the company, but
50%. Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you give us your thoughts on?
We're talking every morning. Yeah, I mean, bias aside, I still think Energy are going to be. They might be tested a little bit, but for me, they're still the clear number one. And going into it, I think everyone was seeing it as just a 4-team race. You know, you've got Energy, Shopify, Gen.G, and Space Station. But then last weekend, 100X took down CJ's team 3-1. So, I mean, you know, obviously they're an EU, basically an import team, but playing CRL. But I still think those top four will be, you know, the clear top four. I'm hoping that it's not just Energy and Shopify, you know, competing. I'm really hoping that SSG and even Gen.G are going to be, you know, in some finals. And I hope it's not just a 2-team race, but I do think they will. I think the Space Station team has a lot of potential. And I do think Rise is a little bit underrated as an upgrade, because I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, Rise was pretty quiet last season. But then I thought the only time I was watching Rise play was against Falcons or Energy in the playoffs, or, you know, I didn't watch him against a team that, you know, they're clearly better than. So, you know, those are hard matches. I think
or something. Let's see him against some of the real bubble of North America.
Yeah, yeah, and even just against American teams in general, you know, some of the 4th, 5th, 6th. Like, I think he'll be an upgrade. I think he'll be a top player in NA. You know, I don't think he's going to struggle in NA. So I think for them, it's like, can they get past top 12? And I think Rise will help them do that. But yeah, for me, the clear favorites Energy still. Biases aside, Shopify hasn't shown enough.
Shuffles Kittens, number one.
Shuffles Kittens, the EU boys, the speed relating wave combo.
Yeah, you got some of those teams as well.
You touched on SSG, and I'd love to ask, because this is a massive unknown for all of us so far. Obviously, we had the qualifiers, but I'd love to ask Mateus on the Diaz situation, because this guy has so much potential. What did you guys see from Diaz? Because I feel like he's the I think Garrett, you spoke about it, him being kind of the NAS of threes, where it's like the potential.
They were on the same storyline.
He hasn't quite put it together in 3v3, but this guy's, you know, competing in a 1v1 major final. He's one of the best 1v1 individual players in the world. I mean, what do you see him now moving to Space Station to NA again? Well, he was already in A, but what do you see in Diaz?
Well, I see like great potential, because he has a skill in ones. He pretty much beat everyone from Brazil, everyone even from NA, but he was lacking the threes, like just mindset in general. He's like playing slow, not playing according to the pace of the match.
I wanted more aggressive.
He needs to be more aggressive. But I was speaking with Expert, because now I get it. Like during EWC, he was asking me like, "What do you think about Diaz?" You know, he was kind of like lurking. So
he was lurking.
I said to him, he was lurking, because I said to him, like, I don't think he just like had a great coach to coach him, because you need to do like this transition. You need to do it. KV1 did it in the past. Even like Yen somehow managed to do it. Like Moxie doesn't want to do it. That's fine. But if you want to do it, if you want to play trees, you need to do this transition. And like he just had 2 coaches that clearly couldn't do it with him. And I think that Expert can do it with him. He did it like with old Team Liquid. He did it with old Space Station. Like essentially like kids that like want to know how to play. And I think he can do it with Diaz, and I think Diaz playing like well enough trees is gonna be like a very good addition to what Review can do it, because Review is very, very good, and Chronic is like a major winner, so you know what he brings to the table. So I think Space Station can like even like win a regional.
Yeah,
Diaz playing well.
their ceiling seems pretty high. But with Diaz, you mentioned Furia kind of building the super team for this season. Do you see Diaz as being a top 3 Brazilian player, or you just think, like, potential-wise, do you think he could have fit on a Furia lineup, or does the region not quite see him in terms of 3v3? Because there's someone mentioned in chat, like 1v1, 2v2, top, like he's always in like right up there in the world individually. But yeah, in terms of RLCS, does Sam view him as a top 3 player in Brazil?
Yeah, Sam doesn't view him as like not even like top 10 in Brazil.
Wow.
If you ask everyone, they will say like he plays too slow. He plays like not just he doesn't like play 3 at all. He just plays 1 and 3, so that doesn't work pretty much. Everyone will say that. Everyone. Hopefully he like turns that up this season with experience, Space Station, with like maybe a better team, because if you're going from CRR and Rainbow or CRR and Frosty to Chronic and Reveal, that's an upgrade for sure.
So it's an upgrade, but it's an upgrade. But do they have the personality to tell him off if it's needed? Then if he's playing this playstyle that's 1v1, he's going for the backboard plays. You know, that's the cliche, but also just general solo plays. I don't know if I turn to Reveal and Chronic to call him out, and I think that might be needed, right?
I think Xperia won't be afraid to.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna rely a lot on the coach to say, "Oi," enough of that nonsense.
Even Reveal though, like Reveal's not afraid to just say. I mean,
is he quite talkative? Is he?
Like that. I mean, they're sitting there trolling Monkey Moon or on Twitter and stuff. I mean, they're
it's one thing on Twitter, I know, but I mean actually sort of the in-game like having the sort of vibes.
I was just saying the personalities, like they're pretty. Yeah. I mean, he's pretty like. I would say he kind of gives like a little scary, like, you know, he in ranked and everything. Cool. He's pretty
he's pretty scary.
I don't know about in a team environment, but he doesn't seem to have that problem. But
I want to go back to what you mentioned about Diaz. So you're saying that in Sam, then they probably don't see him as a top 10 player, or maybe just on the edge. Would you say then that I guess the rest of the world, like Diaz's reputation in the rest of the world is a lot higher, perhaps because of, you know, show matches, Johnny, 1v1s, lands and stuff. Yeah. And when Space Station picked them up, would you what was kind of, I know you're not talking to everyone, but would Sam kind of see that as like, oh geez, what are they doing? Like is Diaz overrated in the rest of the world compared to what you guys see?
Yeah, I think Diaz is a bit overrated for the world, but I see the vision, because I know that if Xpert can turn him around, he's like probably top 5 in Brazil, maybe top 5 in NA, because he has a skill. Like he knows how to hit the ball, how to flip reset, how to right dribble, how to rotate, but how well enough, you know? That's the thing.
It is interesting. Yeah, he certainly had the most eyeballs on him, probably the most talked about outside of Furia and Secret in the LAN team. So, yeah, very interested. Cap in NA. We did do our predictions as well over on the Patreon, but yeah,
I think
interesting.
I think there's another similar team as well. Foot. I know most people aren't rating them particularly highly in NA right now, but Foot are like coming out of SSA as like, you know, the bad guys, and I think they're desperate to change the opinion on that. They tried to make a friendly pickup here with who they've got, but you know, Catalysm's coming out of APAC and did quite well there, but I think he was rated by most people as the worst on that roster. And I don't think that's particularly fair. I think he's a good fill player. I think he needs to be the glue in the team, and I think that's what that roster needs. Foot are going to need a similar situation there, because they're going to need somebody who can rein in Frosty. If he can't start passing, they're
Garrett
in trouble. You know? Exactly. So
is that me?
I think there is.
I can't do it.
I think there's a world where they do really well, but it has to come down to mental, and it has has to come down to not going hero mode for not just Frosty either, for a couple of the players. I'd love to see them do well for Foot's sake as an org, because I want the proof to be that you can come back, that you can make the poor choice and go with the hated team pickup, and then have the redemption arc.
Yeah, I feel like the Sosa's an interesting one. I think he's definitely going to be on watch because he obviously went to a weaker region, kind of improved his reputation because he was making lands and was playing pretty decently at LAN. But when he was in NA, Garrett, like he wasn't, obviously a top player in North America. Yeah. So he's kind of found a better team than he was on before he left, but he went to a weaker region. It'll be interesting to see how he stacks up.
It's hard to place them, and then even with Frosty, like I think similar things to Diaz, like his individual skills crazy, but like the way he plays, I think he needs to figure it out. That's
how
why
does Cheese fit into that for you?
I'm like with Frosty.
Yeah. That was the interesting, because I actually predicted this lineup before. I said weeks before the announcement that I would love to see Sosa and Frosty together. I think that would be an interesting team up. And if I had to pick a third, maybe I'd go with Cheese because he was still available at the time. And then basically Sosa got in my DMs and was like, "What is wrong with you? We're already teaming up and we're trialing Cheese right now."
What a piss.
So I just Cheese obviously brings a lot of experience from LAN and stuff as well. He got the FIFAe experience and everything. Does he bring the level head that's kind of needed to balance out Frosty, or?
I don't know. I don't think it's a level head. I think it's if Frosty takes the advice he gives. I think because I just think the way Frosty plays right now, it's like he's not using his skill. Like he has a skill diff.
Yeah, I agree.
Mechanically, but he doesn't use it. Like he doesn't use it effectively. Is my I don't think he's like, I think the way he's playing right now, he's not hard to play. Like he needs to become hard to play. Like I think he's a little predictable, but I mean Sosa, to me, Sosa's known, like Sosa does the high percentage play, like every single time. Like if that can kind of wear off, then I still think whoever has Frosty, when Frosty figures it out, will benefit greatly. So they have the potential. I mean, so far it looks like they were one goal away from not making top 16, so they're struggling at the moment. But
they did have massive tech issues as well. Sosa was playing on 60 FPS on a completely different computer because it died on the day and stuff. It was, and then we had an unbelievable amount of server issues and stuff as well. It was a horrific day.
They can do it. They can do it. It's just hard for me to place them. It's hard for me to predict where. I feel like where
especially
they could
when
land.
They turned up and had what is probably going to be the worst day of their season straight off the bat. You can't gauge anything off it, so it's
well, then because you've also got redacted, you've got 2-piece wavy talk, you've got 100x, you've got relating wave and speed and
competition in that region. I agree.
I had Dig high up, but they didn't make it. There's just a lot of teams that they're gonna have to fight their way through, I think. To get there. But
Cole was saying EU is the it's the most competitive it's been in a while now. Like that, the competition is so massive. NA sounds like it's the same.
You worded that nicely. I said it was weaker. You can say what I said.
But it does mean that they're Garrett said
outside
himself
of first,
that because they're all very level now, the competition actually can make that scary. SSA is more competitive, I think, as well. If I'm reading you right, Greybeard. What about, is this just the most competitive season of RLCS ever?
Yeah, probably. Now, when you put it like that, I think that for NA kind of reminds me of just EU last season, where there's a lot of competitive teams, but then you have K-Corp. Like there's a lot of competitive teams in NA, but you have NRG.
You've got a lot of competitive teams, and then you've got Sphinx.
Well, I have a question, a North American question, which is born out of two things. One, a lot of ignorance on my part, and two, from trying to understand things that happen on Twitter. But before I ask Garrett the question, I'm concerned that if this podcast goes on any longer, we're going to lose Mateus altogether off the screen. He's getting lower and lower.
He's getting lower. We're losing him down there.
He's in quicksand.
I'm okay.
So I got wind of there was a whole Twitter thing, I think last week or a few days ago, basically saying that when it comes to North America, NRG is like a an anomaly in the North American setup. And when it comes to North America competing against EU and maybe even MENA and the other strong regions in the world, there's a lot less there outside of NRG. And I don't know if that was just Twitter being the dumpster fire that it is, or if there's some truth to that.
You're saying like energy is so separated from the rest of NA?
Yeah,
skill
it's like, when it comes to North America, NRG is good. Everybody else is not really going to be competitive globally.
Oh, well, I mean, that's been the case outside of Ultimate's making a run. But I mean, for me, NA-wise, there's 4 players who are absolute S+ tier, and 3 of them are in energy. That's the problem for me. And I think even the way energy plays, I don't think there's another team who could play that way right now. Like, even having experience playing them recently, like it's weird because they don't play a style that is unpredictable or like they're not even huge, they're not even big on bumping, but they're all 3 so mechanically talented at like controlling the ball and using each other that it just feels like it's not like no other team can replicate it right now in NA. So it does feel like, for me, it feels like they're not, like, there's no threat of their spot being taken by anyone, unless Ultimates really picks it up. Like, if LJ returns to, like, his SSG form and Kofor keeps improving and first killers, like, then I could see it being, like, a 2-team thing. But for me right now, it's like they're so far ahead. And they even leveled up at the end of last season, which was a shock to me because you haven't seen that from a team sticking together ever.
Yeah, we were calling for a roster change or something like that before.
Yeah, we were like, when are they going to make a change? And all of a sudden they get better. It's like, it's weird. I haven't seen it. It's never happened. So maybe it will be taken down though. But sorry, what were you saying?
No, you said there were 4 players. 3 of them are on NRG. Who's the 4th?
Oh, First Killer for sure.
Okay. Yeah,
I think this last World was like one of his best events ever. I mean, he looked insane. He looked crazy.
I love the Kofa shout out though. I mean, of all of the up and coming players in the world right now, I think Kofa's one of the tops on my list there. I really, really have a lot of faith that Kofa's going somewhere.
Yeah, he could get to that. I mean, he's on the path for sure.
Yeah.
He's on the path for sure.
CJ, you are planning to talk about OCE at some point here too, as well, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
we're gonna skip it.
In the interest of time, I don't think we'd have to dive too much. We mentioned it before. It's similar to what we saw in Sam. It's kind of the OCE washing machine. As you said, you commentated the Turkish boys with him for some fades and whatnot. But I mean, it's got to be wild card. It's so hard to look past them. Now there's only one spot. It's even more emphasized how dominant they can be, and they probably will be. Obviously, their Team Australia as well for FIFA E. Mentioned before, there's some other teams like Team Power getting picked up with Gus and Super Lockie and Fiber. Then you got your Hunters, your Karkas. Like, it's just that you're going to see the same players kind of mixing and matching. But
shout out Torsos, man.
Yeah, but
he's doing it for all
is just he's the GOAT. He's the absolute GOAT. A guy that I mentioned it before. We did the GOAT tier list, but I don't care what region you're playing, how perceived easy or hard it is. If you can play from 2016 to 2025. That is ridiculous, and it does, like, the fact that he can still put in 120 hours past 2 weeks. He still loves the game, and he can get top 6 at Worlds after his 10th year of being there.
Still can't believe that happened.
He's no turbo pulsar, but yeah, it's
I mean, he doesn't have the individual accolades, but I think just longevity is has to be commended. I couldn't play the game for that long. And yeah, he's the GOAT. It's great to see.
There's no Hall of Fame for Rocket League, is there?
Should be.
It feels like there should be. There should be something done, and like with and some sort of criteria and
we'll start it
as well.
And you induct people in. That would be amazing.
For context as well, when he started doing RLCS lands, I was like 1800 rated. Now I'm about 1200 rated. So he stayed at the top level in the amount of time it's taken me to drop 600
Cole, do you realize
MMR. It's just what I mean is I'm not saying like comparing myself to him at all. I'm just saying that like I play the game a fair amount still, and I've just dropped that level because that's what humans do, right? And he somehow has stayed at the very,
it's
very
hard
top.
to keep improving
it's
as well.
ridiculous.
It's so easy for the young kids to come up because you have so many, Torsos came out when there was no tutorials, no tips and tricks.
Yeah.
It was just a brand new game.
He was inventing them.
Yeah, figuring out as he goes in his dominus.
And he gets so many bad habits from that as well.
Yeah, and whereas the new kids can just pick it up, there's courses, there's everything, there's so much content that you can dive into. And
something about that CJCJ guy as well.
I don't know that. But I mean, there's just, when you pick up the game now, you can go straight to, we know the optimal controls, to not Rizzo driving with like accelerating with his thumbsticks or something like that. Everyone goes straight to the optimal settings, sensitivity, controls and stuff, and you can go from there. So it's so easy now. So credit to Torsos. But yeah, Wildcard's going to look fantastic. I'll probably touch on them a bit more next week because I know we are running pretty late. But main event for OCE next week. So we'll work out how the qualifiers look and how the teams are shaping up after that. That's exciting. To finish off, though, guys, because we're not going to be all here all day, I know that we're not talking about MENA. We don't exactly have a MENA expert, but I would love to get all of your opinions on MENA because it is going to be one of the most talked about, one of the most watched, at least the grand final for 2026, because obviously we have Falcons and Twisted Minds. Falcons this season, TRK has left. It is the Twins. Durali's been picked up. Not really. TRK's decided to leave. Falcons, the org, said we need to get the best player in the world, in their opinion, and maybe weaken KC at the same time. So the Twins will be playing with Durali. Twisted Minds said, righto, we'll pick TRK up then. We've still got Naupo. How about we get the GOAT in Monkey Moon alongside him? And up until this point, we thought, well, Falcons are probably going to be number one. They're just ridiculous. You got the best player in the world. But Twisted Minds just beat them. On LAN
twice.
Beat them twice. Exactly, beat them twice. So Monkey Moon, Naupo, and TRK, which it really. I mean, from the outside looking, you're like, how's the chemistry going to work? Durali, he's Moroccan. He speaks Arabic. Monkey Moon, is he even like? Are they going to be able to play together? Well,
and then you see him dancing in the car, right?
Clearly, they can. So, what are your thoughts?
Everybody's been saying that it's just like it's a huge upgrade for the region that you've got Durali, that you've got Monkey Moon coming in, but I don't know if it is initially. I think that there's a very, very distinct play style that comes out of MENA. I think the same thing can be said of the teams that kind of tried to transition to NA from like Sam and then kind of lost the play style a bit and couldn't compete. And then they go back to Sam and they get better again. I think MENA has a very distinct play style, and they're going to have to restructure that a bit with these two new players in these two top teams. It's going to take a little bit of time before they are the best again, in my opinion.
I like that point about that set. Mateus, what are your thoughts on that? Because this did kind of happen. Furia, you guys were demons. You went to North America and everyone went, oh, this is how you play them. And then, but then you went back to Sam, kind of hid away down in South America, and you guys got better again on LAN. How do you think it's going to look for MENA then?
Well, I think that it's way better for MENA because Sam was like not in touch with NA or EU in general. But like MENA has ranked and scrims ever since 2016, I believe. I don't think it's like a big issue. They just like have their unique play style, but I think they can adapt to Monkey Moon and Durali there. And in general, like I think that there's going to be like a huge gap from 1 and 2 to the rest.
Yeah, it kind of.
What do you have better?
Yeah,
who are you picking to be better over the season?
Like it's not like recency bias, but I think over the season, Nupo, Turk, and Monkey Moon gonna be better.
Really? You think Twisted Minds will be better?
Yeah, my only concern was like they can speak English. If they can, they're gonna be better.
That's fair. I don't think there's any wrong answer. To be honest, between the two, I think you can go with either. Because I'm still going Falcons over
Me too.
the term. But I'm willing to eat my words on that. Like I won't be disappointed. You know what I mean? Like if Twisted Minds are better. So
I think that Stumpy and I watched back the Twisted Minds Falcons series earlier because like I saw so many posts on Reddit saying you have to watch this series. Like game 4 was, game of the off season so far. So we checked it out. And it was so funny because towards the end of games, Falcons, they love doing that thing, especially late in games where one of the twins will fake and the other one will then put it away. But like everyone fakes nowadays, but the Falcons level fake. A couple of times they were doing that and it's like, oh, I've seen this before. They're about to score. And then TRK will just pop up and block it. because he knows them so well. He has them downloaded so well. So my theory is Twisted Minds will start off, and I say that as someone who's just seen Twisted Minds beat Falcons. I wouldn't have said this a week ago. I'm not claiming to be that smart, but I imagine that Twisted Minds will continue to beat Falcons for the next few. But to me, the skill ceiling for Falcons is much higher. I think once they figure out how to re-throw Twisted Minds, I can see them pulling away. And Falcons are my pick for Worlds this year as well. I think they're going to be.
I think there's one more topic with MENA that we'd be remiss with not talking about because the MENA representative isn't here today. He didn't get to. It's that 2/3. It's that spot that's missing from OCE now. Why didn't it go to MENA? That's a huge topic. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. ROC did so well. MENA is not a 2-team region. ROC exists and are actually good. They're not taking down either of those 2 top teams, don't get me wrong, but they are relevant.
Yeah, I was about to say the upgrade might make it seem like a 2-team region again, but they're definitely really good. I mean, they have a really deep talent pool there.
Yeah, they could have earned a spot at perhaps East Copenhagen to try and win an extra spot for sure. But yeah, it's the funny thing is I feel like Greybeard is Falcons, as I said, they kind of picked up Drally to weaken KC, but they probably forgot that they've given Twisted Minds TRK. And he's kind of still nice. He's kind of still really nice on the sticks, and then Monkey Moon joins. So will it come back to bite them, I guess, is that question.
And what, we all sit here and we love to pontificate about these things. And the reality is new rosters, they've got to figure these things out. Cole, your point was great. TRK knows these. How long have they been playing together? He knows exactly what they're thinking, where they're going. So can they figure that out, counter it? And I think there is a tendency to read too much into early season, like scrims. Oh, we're destroying everybody in scrims. Who cares? Yeah, you got to come out there and do the thing. But I think I'm with Mateus, and I'm not an overly knowledgeable person in these things, but I got a feeling about the Twisted Minds team.
Something about Monkey Moon.
We said this last year. I've been burned before.
Yeah, we all want. I think we all want Twisted Minds to win, but it's just Falcons on paper still look very scary. All right, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic. I've got one final question, though. This one comes from one of our patrons, Stolen Short Sword, and I think I'm going to leave this for our emerging region experts for Gex and Greybeard, because we talk about this a lot on Chalked, and it's the cash cups, and it's how much money goes into the cash cups. And Stolen Short Sword asks, what value do you think these cash cups provide? Do they foster more talent in regions, or should we be investing that money in perhaps, additional playing stage, and along with that, maybe we do 18 teams, some more seeds, some stuff? Do you think that the, $500,000, I think it's like $470,000, something like maybe $450,000 they put into cash cups, are they working? Do we like them? Could we use the money elsewhere? What do you boys think?
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, I'll let you take this one. No, I think yeah.
No, I think there's huge value in it. However, we've had a weird thing, and I don't know if the 2/3 rule is going to impact cash cups in any way going into 2026, because cash cups don't pay very deep. I think it's only top 8 that get paid. We're still getting a lot of EU people to kind of showing up, and so it's a weird issue. So that's the one issue. But even beyond that, because there's a community, there's no official broadcast for them or any of that. So they almost, in my mind, happen in the dark. And unless I decide to, I can get into lobbies and stream the games. And I've done that for a few of the cash cups. And then Pyro J from North America, one of our, the SSA talent, he's done the same. He did today's cash cup, 1v1 cash cup. And I've been in touch with the admins, and I've spoken to Pyro and said, if the cash cups continue into 2026, we have to make a bigger deal of them. They will have value in as much as we make them have value. by broadcasting it, making sure. I don't think outside of Twitch and Twitter, I don't know if people even know about them. So if they are to continue, there will be value if we get more people playing them as a proving ground to get skill, to get experience competing at a higher level or just being in competition. So I'm keen for them if they're utilized properly, and I don't think that's a Epic Blast problem. That's a SSA Rocket League community problem.
I mean, you've basically covered all my thoughts there as well. I think this is a PSA for players in the minor regions. Start playing the cash cups. Particularly in APAC, we have nobody turning up for them, and largely that is to do with the fact that MENA is just coming in and dominating them. We have so many MENA players in our cash cups that it is so hard to turn up and play and have any relevance there. The only team that's really doing that that has come up with a win out of a cash cup other than MENA players is Sphinx's team. It's very, very hard to see it otherwise. I do think that that's a problem that does need a solution.
And one solution is to pay it very deep with lower money, with the huge prize pool that this region has. And I explained at the beginning of the podcast that we are so far ahead of everybody else in terms of prize pool. So instead of just paying 8 players, make the prize pool far lower, but pay more players. That'll discourage EU people from coming here to play, but it will encourage local people to play because they can make $50. That's fantastic.
Exactly, particularly with both our regions where the money means more. That money in Indonesia is worth so much more money than it is worth in America. You don't understand. That is wages, for $50 for some people. It is real money down here. I think if we're talking about where the money is maybe being lost, I'm looking more towards the fact that for minor regions, we have the prize pool extending down in RLCS to teams that are not even turning up. Top 64 has teams that are not appearing and getting to that point, and they're getting $100 per player.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I don't even think Epic would have thought about that. Is that particularly in APAC and stuff. Well, as you said in SSA as well, it's great money, the cash cups. But yeah, if we can spread it out, then we can feed families. We can feed more people in these emerging regions.
We can pay casters.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, whether people believe the money's going in the right area, at least it's going in some area.
Yeah.
In terms of the overall economics of esports. So it's great to see. But guys, I think we're going to wrap it up there. This has been absolutely fantastic. What I would love to do as a sign off for you guys is we're going to go down the line. One, give yourself a shout out, plug whatever you want to plug, your own channel, whatever you got. I know Cole's got a beautiful podcast as well that I did hop on. Maybe that's coming out soon. But yeah, plug whatever you want to plug. And then I want you, for your regional expert opinion, you're going to say this team is going to win or take down, Sam or APAC or whatever it is. So you're going to give your one prediction as well of who's going to be your number one team for 2026. So I'll start. Easy for me. I think wildcard. Got to do it in OCE. They're going to be the number one team for 2026. So yeah, check it out. And my plug will be that for Chalked, we have done our predictions for the weekend. So if you guys want to see our predictions for the North American and European brackets main event this weekend, they're live on the patreon.com/Chalkcast. Check it out. Captain, who you got for North America? I wonder.
Listen, unbiased opinion, no affiliation. Energy's going to take America, North
At least
America
take
once
the
again.
hat off. You can't.
There's no affiliation around here.
Listen, it is the easiest answer, and even if I'm biased, it is the easy answer. Energy.
Perfect. Cole.
For me, I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be all affiliation aside. I get to see that way around.
This is just the paid actors.
Carmine Corp will be the best team in Europe again. I think they are just that far above everybody else. So yeah, I'll go KC. Oh, and plugging. CJ, as you mentioned, Stumpy and I have got a brand new comedy podcast called Officially Unofficially. We've got 9 episodes out now. A new one coming out on next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday. It'll feature, wherever you are, CJCJ up over that side. There you go. You're going to be on it. So CJ joined us. That's coming out on Wednesday. So if you like that guy, which presumably you do, make sure you go and sub to us on YouTube. So yeah, thank you very much.
Tune in. We got Greybeard.
All right. Well, in terms of the plug, I'm Greybeard GG everywhere. We're a wonderful region. When you get involved with SSA, you fall in love with it. You want to be involved, and we're still very interested in taking all the help, the input, the drive that we can get to help grow this region. So get in touch with me and figure out how you can be involved in this fabulous region. And in 2026, I believe that the Pioneers will be our #1 team in 2026.
Perfect. All right, Mateus, with your unbiased secret coach opinion, who's going to take down Sam? If you have any plug as well for your own personal channel or whatever, go ahead.
For me, easy peasy. Team Secret, best team in South America, maybe in the world. Let's see. And plugging like Greybeard, Mateus STL everywhere. And follow Rocket Street and Rocket League Sam. Tomorrow we're going to have the regional starting in Rocket Street, and Saturday, Sunday in Rocket League Sam on Twitch.
Rocket League Sam and Rocket Street, check it out. And make sure you follow Mateus STL absolutely everywhere. Gex, round it out for us. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I'd love to tell you where you could watch it, but I don't know where APAC's going to be at this point. A little bit of drama in the setup there. I also don't know who's going to be on it. I have not been contacted yet, but hopefully throughout the rest of the season, I will get my chance to represent APAC as always. But look, if you want to see more of me, definitely support me on Twitter. I think every person in here, I was having a look just for my own beatdown. Everybody in here has like 6,000 followers on Twitter minimum, and I think I've got 600. If you want to support me, please get on it. Please get on it. It's at
get into 601, guys.
It's at GexCast. I will be covering as much of the APAC for my own content as possible as well. So do check out my stream as well at GexCast on Twitch. But for my big take, it's a hot one. It's going to be Project De La Cruz. So unexpected there. Kevin, Catalysm, and Sphinx are going to rock the world here. They're making a top 8 at LANs this season, and they're going to do it as always by knocking out OCE.
Awesome. Yeah, great way to end up. Yeah, just a little drive-by to round out chalk. Well, ladies and gents, that's it for our global RLCS preview show. Once again, thank you so much to our 4 regional experts, our 4 guests. We would love to have you guys on again. As you said, all of the links will be in the description for YouTube and all the guys that are watching not live of these guys' channels. Make sure, let's try and get Gex to, as Cole said, 601 followers. So make sure you follow everyone. Stay tuned. And yeah, make sure you support these regions as well. As you said, we've got Rocket Street, we've got the SSA channels as well. Greybeard will have all the action. If you follow him on Twitter, you'll know where to catch all of the SSA action. So thank you very much, guys. I'm sorry I said it might be an hour. Ended up being a couple. But that's what happens when you get some absolute yappers. We get some yappers in the room. We just keep on going. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. And once again, to the patrons, appreciate you guys for our predictions for the weekend. That'll be patreon.com/chalkcast. But that is it for our global preview show. As you said, love to have you guys on again, if that's all right. Yep, you guys would love to be... Perfect. All right, this was awesome. This was sick. I love it. The 6 guest thing is awesome. So yeah, thanks everyone watching, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Peace.
Peace.